That's ISO.
Rack it up, I got a bit of the bank to make me a safe house. Shake it up, she got her hands on her knees and she bringing the cake out. Smoke it up, I got some gas, some packs, I'm up in the greenhouse. Ball it up, I'm with the gang, we taking shots off the rebound. Fucking my post, say now, I've been humble too long.
Hey guys, welcome to Wealth on the Rocks. Today I have a very special guest, William Wade. He's a CEO, serial entrepreneur, wishing ain't doing enough. Tell us all about it, William.
How you doing, man? How you doing? Thank you for having me. Man, wishing ain't doing enough. Where do we start?
Man, you were born and now you're here. What happened in between?
So in between there, a lot happened. So let's start back to how we got here, man. We got here through determination, man. So I'm sitting here talking with Wealth on the Rocks, and we're talking about finances. To me, mostly all things go around finances. Yeah. So I learned that by not having any finances. You know, you learn a lot of lessons when you don't have a lot. And you ask how we get here. I think to say how we got here was to say that I had no father, right? And the reason why I say that is because it made me want to be a father. Yep. And so inside of that, I wanted to be the best that I could be. And when life took me a turn and I had children, it gave me the motivation to change and become something better. Yep. So I have to start from where it started because that's the motivation and they actually get a lot of people to the next place. A lot of times people don't realize it's those things that they call negative or adverse, adverse things that where you get the surge and the intensity to go through. You know what I mean? So,
you talk about fatherhood. So how many kids do you have?
So I have 3 kids right now. I have 3 boys. I wanted a girl.
Nice.
I didn't get one.
Okay. Got all the boys.
I had all the boys, but I got a grandbaby.
Okay, nice.
My son is at the hospital tonight having a baby.
What are you doing here?
Determination. Well, he's not actually having the baby. Okay. He's not having the baby. I mean, it would be weird, right?
All right, we got to wrap this up quick. Come on.
No, he's out there tonight. They're going to induce labor, so he was supposed to be on the 28th.
Wait a second.
And so it'll probably be tomorrow that they're inducing labor. So yeah, he's there tonight. I had this conversation with him saying, hey, son, make sure you hold her head, man. Because I didn't have a father. Remember, I told you it starts everything, right? Yeah. And when I say that, I want to say it in an encouraging way. It's not one of them, it's not that. It's more of, man, that's where his determination, that's where his fire comes from. That's why you know what I mean? Yeah. So I had the conversation with my son tonight. I'm like, hey, son, hold her head. Make sure you hold her head. And make sure you look at her. They saying, Dad, I think somebody's telling me I might pass out. I said, man, you're not going to pass out.
Dude, I mean, shoot. I had 2 girls myself. I didn't pass out, but I sure was like not close, but it was just like it's an overwhelming feeling. It's like, wow, like I'm having a baby, I'm becoming a father. Yeah. It's like an overwhelming feeling of emotions. Like for any fathers out there probably can testify to this. It's like it's huge and like it's so much responsibility, right? Like as a new father and like trying to train your kids to the best that you can, I mean, that's all you can do. And but I appreciate you being here, man, making the time. And we're drinking some special stuff today. We got some short barrel over here. I'm a big fan of honey finished barrel. So if you don't know much about this, sometimes they take bourbon barrels, which traditionally they make charred, is like American oak charred barrel. So it's like they burn the inside, right? So it's charred, and then they put the bourbon inside, let it sit for a little bit. But sometimes they do some cool stuff where they put some honey in there, make it as like a finish, so it has like a sweet sort of finish to it. But short barrel, shout out to them. Good stuff today. It's 115 proof, pretty tasty stuff. And yeah, so cheers to you.
Appreciate it.
We're drinking out of some Music City Bourbon barrel glasses as well. So shout out to Music City Bourbon. But some good stuff. And yeah, cheers. Cheers. I appreciate you. Very nice. So all right, so fatherhood, dude, I met you a while ago and you've been just like on a mission. I mean, I see you all the time out there. You're an entrepreneur providing impact on our community here in Nashville. Tell us all about it. I mean, Wade, what do you got going on? What do you do?
All right, so It started. I started with a cleaning company. And 6 years ago, and the story. I had 3 boys, right? 3 boys, and I wanted to leave a legacy. So I have 3 LLCs right now.
Okay.
And 3 is a number of completion for me. 3 is a big number, and 7, right? Those are numbers for me. So 3 boys. I have 3 LLCs. I started my first when my son was already doing something. And so in my culture, I want to make sure that I can influence my children, because it's a lot of things that are pulling at the kids right now these days.
Right.
So I have to make sure I influence. And I thank God for allowing me the influence, because as I talk more of the story, the conversation has to be different. I have to be able to show that money is being made, because so much money is shown in front of the kids that I have, right? So I started my first business, and it was a cleaning company. And so I wrote down in my journal, and I was writing saying, hey man, I want to make $100,000 in 3 years in a cleaning company. And so for me, I'm thinking $100,000 a year in a cleaning company. That's before I even understood that it was everybody, all the other stuff coming out of the 100,000. I'm thinking that's good though, because I never made 100,000. You know, I didn't know people around me making 100,000. So I'm like, okay, cool, that was a good thing.
It's a benchmark, right?
Yeah, that was the thing. First year I made over $250,000.
Nice.
That's so, and I say that because that was God. Like I always say things that when you write it down, you make it plain. You got to write things down. You got to make
100%.
sure that you have it. A lot of people have it up here.
Yeah.
Like they say, man, I know what I want. No, write it down.
Yeah.
And so you look at it, and then you ingrain it in your heart, put it in your subconscious.
Yeah.
So that way when you move accordingly to what that you want. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I've actually recently been researching on some of these things. If you know about Nicola Tesla, so the guy that did Tesla, he had a method for years. Those of you out there that love all of this, like law of attraction, manifesting, all these different things, it's 100% a real thing. He had a method. It was 3-6-9, and so you write down. A lot of people know whenever you write down your goals, there's a much higher chance of your goal actually happening if you consistently think about it. It's like, if you probably heard of this, right? Like you buy a new car, it's a new red car. Yeah. And all you see whenever you drive around, it's red cars everywhere, right? That's your RAS, your reticular activated system. It's functioning, and it's essentially discerning the things that are important to you. You just bought a red car, so your brain sort of filters through everything else and only focus on the red cars. In the same way, he has this 3-6-9 method to where like you write your goals 3 times in the morning, 6 times in the afternoon, and 9 times in the evening. And so essentially it's a way to like a daily act of manifesting and visualizing the things that you want and the goals that you want to have. And this can apply for everything, right? And this is something that I've been experimenting of, like, hey, what do I want to feel like? What is having the goal that I want, right? Like if you want to buy, an easy example, right? Like you want to buy a new car, a Lamborghini, just for an example. What does it feel to actually own it? Like, do you visualize in your mind walking out to your garage, opening the handle, and the door opens up, and then you close your eyes, you feel the leather, you touch the logo in the middle, you feel the power. You visualize this, right? And then your brain doesn't know the difference between reality and a dream. Like it knows how to manifest these things into reality as you focus on it. So it's a really powerful thing.
I'm gonna tell you the truth, how truth that is. So if we go more deeper into my past, I was in a situation where I had a little bit of time on my hands. And so I used to read books like Think and Grow Rich and things like that. And when I read that, I used to sit back. And I think it's in one of these books, it said that Michael Jordan would envision himself, or somebody would envision himself.
Michael Phelps?
They would envision themselves shooting a free throw.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just as good if they're envisioning in their mind shooting a free throw. It's just as the brain receptors in the mind. It's just as if they really shooting. So what I used to do is I used to lay down on my bed and I used to think, and I used to smell the leather of the car that I want, and I used to see the lifestyle. I actually put a face of how I wanted to dress.
Nice.
Now, it was a guy's face, so I kind of flipped it off. I was looking at the guy. But it was the way that you see me dressed now. Like it was dressed up, and I manifested that. I wanted that in my life. I was in a situation to where also I didn't have technology, right? I didn't have the technology, and so I used to carry a book and a folder. And the book was my internet, and the folder was my laptop. And so in my car, I have a laptop, MacBook now, and I have the internet on one watch and everything. So I wanted to create that I have today. And the thing about it is, we look 5 years in advance, and we walk that way today.
Nice.
Like you walk it from, you already have it. So
100%.
a lot of times, I was reading the book too, and it was like, if I wanted to get something, you had it in your hand. It's hard for me to get it, right?
Yeah.
But it's easy for you because you have it in your hand. So that's how we walk to our future. Like we already have it. And God doesn't deal in the realm of time, right? So when we show up as we already have it.
100%.
And so if we walk today as I already know I got it, you walk different than when I'm trying to go get it.
That's 100% true. Yeah.
And so, man. You just,
It's so true. It's like if you want to become a millionaire, right? Like that's an easy example. Like if you were a millionaire today, how would you act? How would you dress? Which places would you go?
Yeah.
And all those things end up affecting the way you behave, and then those actions turn into the reality that you live. And something that I think is so impressive about you too is like you're able to handle a lot of spinning plates, right? Like you have a few different businesses. You got the cleaning company. I know you've recently doing a lot with real estate, right? It's incredible. Like how do you balance all of it? I mean, tell us all about all the real estate stuff too. Like,
okay, so I'll go back to 3 again, right? 3 kids, right? So what I wanted to do is 3 LLCs, 3 kids. I wanted to have a LLC for each child. The oldest son, cleaning. The next one, I have a marketing company that's way global. And the reason why I have that is because I needed to be the engine. And it started because of the cleaning company needed a cold caller. So when I got wind of how to get virtual assistants and figure out how to do that, my cleaning company needed a cold caller. Now, my mind starts at the end and walk backwards. If my cleaning company needs a cold caller, I want to do real estate. That needs a cold caller too, right? So let me train and let me just start a cold caller in-house since I'm going to need it for here anyway. And I get the kinks out of it, right? Now, there's a challenge because as you have one business and learning a whole nother skill, when you think you have this going, this starts to fall, and then this is already going down because you took some of the focus off of it. Yeah. So now, as you said, now you're balancing, right?
Yeah, you're trying to spin everything. Yeah. Well, where do you think, like, how do you get all that momentum going? Like, I feel like there's a lot of times, and like a lot of entrepreneurs may be watching, like, how do you get the momentum to get those things into place, right? Because sometimes in every entrepreneur, solopreneur's career, like there's a lot of times people have a lot of great ideas, right? And a lot of, I want to do this and I want to do that. But sometimes there's a little bit of a lack of implementation, right? A lack of actually the groundwork, the action, right? Sometimes I've talked to multiple individuals who's like, oh, I wish I did this and that. And it's like, how much action are you putting into?
They wish.
Wishing
ain't doing enough.
Wishing ain't doing enough. That's right.
That's the problem. They wish they did it. You gotta go out there and do it.
You have to put the action. Yeah.
What are you wishing for?
Yeah.
You know, I wish I could. I wish I could change this. I wish I could. A lot of people say that. Man, I wish I would have. You can do it today.
Yeah.
So you ask where it ever come from. It's that they're wishing. And another thing people say, it hurts them back. I know you're a big believer in programming your brain, right?
Right.
How do you keep yourself going? How do you keep yourself going is because you program your words right. You get around people that can help you program your brain. I know a lot of times I'm coaching now, right? And a lot of them saying, I'm going to try to do this, I'm going to try to do that. I was on a call today, and a guy was cleaning. And I said, man, he was cleaning as he was talking to me. And I said, man, what you got in front of you? He said, man, a toilet. I said, okay, well, what you got in? He said, I'm a spray bottle. I said, put the spray bottle down. He put it down. I said, try to pick it up. He said, I got it. I said, either you're going to pick it up or you're not. A lot of times we program our subconscious brain to fail by saying, I try. I'm going to try to get this thing off the ground.
Yeah.
I'm going to try. Well, try give you a reason to get out. Like you can try. A lot of times people say, man, I'm going to try to make it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm going to try to make it, man.
You're already, yeah.
Yeah, they already said they really don't want to go. Man, you coming to the game, man? I'm going to try to be there. You know?
Yeah, it's already in now. Yeah.
So when we program ourselves, man, I'm gonna try to get this off the ground. I'm gonna try to do this. So that's one of the things I think that keeps you going and motivated. And another thing would be just knowing your why. I know they say you gotta know what it is. Yeah. What's your plan? At the end, you back it all the way back. Where do you want to see yourself? 5 years? Where you want to see yourself? And you back it down. Now, as you was talking earlier, you said you go where millionaires go, right? Now,
Sure.
a lot of people that want want to have success,
Yeah.
they don't go where the people successful go. A lot of
Yeah.
the places that I go, I'm just talking about me. A lot of places that I go, if I had the money that I said I wanted to have or making that, I probably wouldn't be going, just to be honest.
Yeah.
And so I talk to my guys and I tell them, charisma can get you there,
Yeah.
but character is what's going to keep you there. And up at the value,
Say that one more time. Say that one more time.
charisma can get you there, but
Yeah.
character is what's going to keep you there.
Wow, that's amazing.
You know, so a lot of the times I can look the part. I can walk in the building. I can look like the CEO. I can walk, but if I'm not treating my people well, if I'm not showing my family some support, if I'm not doing some other things, that
Yeah.
character is not gonna happen. A lot of times, a character is built in the crushing part of life.
Yeah.
Like when you lose a lot of money, you're like, oh man, I gotta figure this out. And now
Right.
you start to build up character, right?
Yeah.
When you going through a tumultuous situation, right? You start
Yeah.
to build up character.
Yeah.
But see, those are the things that we looking to build the character that's gonna take us to the journey.
Absolutely.
So when you look at life from those perspectives,
Yeah.
you only win no matter what.
100%. Man, you remind me, there's a story I heard literally last week. It's a story of a little cow, if I may. There's a story of a little cow that there's this town in the middle of the mountains, right? And then this family has like 7 kids, and all they own is a little cow. And the cow produces just enough for them to get by, just enough milk, just enough cheese, just enough to get by. And so there's these 2 people that walk through the town, and then they have a meal with the family and everything. They're telling them about the little cow and their situation. They're just surviving. And so late at night, one of the guys takes the cow and pushes it off the edge of a cliff. So the cow is gone, and then they leave the town. And so years later, one of the guys was feeling bad, and he's like, well, I wonder what happened to the family with the cow, and whatever. And so the guy comes back, and then he comes back to the town, and then the little shack and the family, there's no shack anymore. There's a big villa. There's like a big house in the same valley. And so he goes in there, he walks, and he asks, he's like, hey, there used to be this little shack with a family. There's about 7 kids. Where are they now? What happened to them? And so he's like, well, the people you're talking is me. The losing that cow years ago, we had this cow and we were just surviving, and losing that cow one day it just kind of left, and it was the best thing that it could ever happen to us, because we were just surviving, and having that forced us to find what else was out there, what's better, how can I feed my family, how can I do it. And so it's a metaphor to like, there's a lot of things in life that are holding us back, right? Like whatever your little cow is, it doesn't have to be, right? Like quit your job tomorrow, right? And start your side hustle, right? But there's a lot of times that those little cows in life are holding us back in some way. And I love that you're able to push through those barriers, right? And just kind of keep moving forward. So yeah, absolutely.
You got to push
Absolutely.
through each one. You got to push through each one. You were saying something there about the cow, right? And I was thinking, I was following the story and seeing how it was going to go. And so that cow, by them losing it, it had them tap into what was inside of them. Right? And a lot of times, we don't want to go through those things that makes us tap into who is inside of us. And so the reason why I just said win, 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 no matter what, is when I'm losing outside, I'm gaining inside. And when I'm gaining inside, some of the people outside said I'm losing. So I had a deal that I lost a little bit of money on, well, quite a bit for me, right? And a lot of times the people was like, man, you lost. No, I won. Because I learned something. I made it through it. Yeah. And I figured something out. And I also figured out my finances, how I was managing my finances. I don't need to do it that way anymore.
Yeah.
So now I position myself to go uphill. Because see, as a climbing, I'm climbing something, and then I slip. I only slip so I can, I know this right there, so I can climb up higher, right?
Right.
So in order for me to get to the top, little slips or missteps going to happen.
Yeah.
Those are not missteps to take you to the bottom. You didn't fall all the way down. Those are missteps that, man, maybe you need to climb around the rock a little bit. Right. Maybe this part I'm not a rock climber, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. No, absolutely, man. That's so true. And I'm curious to learn your thoughts about. I mean, you've done a bunch of different things. I'm curious on the real estate thing. What's going on with that? What are you doing on that?
All right, so getting back to the real estate. So we're doing a duplex, right? I have a duplex here, and I have another house that I'm doing a full renovation in Detroit. Bought it for real cheap. And it's like how people fix old cars. I was taking my youngest son. That's what I was at. My youngest son, he's 17 now. I'm taking him to Detroit, and we're filling up an old house. I got it, Detroit Land Bank. I got it for like maybe $1,000, $1,200. Wow. And it's real ran down. Like it's really ran. So you have to do the roof and the flooring and all that. So I'm taking him going through that process so I can get him engaged in the real estate too. Yeah. And then I bought a duplex. See the three. I got a duplex in Ashland City. Yeah. 2 houses and the one up there, so that's another 3. And my first 2, my oldest 2, they invested in the real estate with me because of the financial structure I put them on. They were working for me for a while, and then I had them separate their income up into 4 different piles. I had a personal, a giving, a tithing. No, giving was tithing, it's saving, and investment account. Yeah. So it was 4 different accounts. Yeah. And I had them separate in certain banks. So when they was younger, when they got paid for me, they got, let's say, $100, and they had percentages. We worked off percentages because most business works off percentages. Yeah. A lot of times what we do is we get into it and we work off the number. If you get an extra $100, you spend an extra $50. Sure. But if you get $200, if you had $100 and you got an extra $100, 80% of that $200 is the same thing as 80% of that $100. Right? 100%. Yep. So I showed them that, and when I invested in real estate, my youngest one was 18, no, it's 19 and 20. Okay. And they invested, and so they own 6% interest, 6% what I have inside of the duplex that we have.
That's awesome. I know you talked to me a little while ago. There's like a book. What was it? Is that Profit First or something? Yeah. You're talking about that, that's what you're talking about, like the breaking it down.
No,
and
I was doing that before Profit First. So
really?
I wasn't doing it before him because I didn't know him at the time. Right. But I was doing that method in a personal life. I actually got it from Kiyosaki too. Okay, Kiyosaki, nice. He was. I'm a big Kiyosaki fan. I used to read all of his books. Yeah. And he broke that down. And so what I did was I used to do the percentages when I was making $20 a month. Right. I used to make $20 a month. They used to take half, and so it was $10 left. And in my situation, $10 is what you had to work with for the month, right? So I did the $10, and then I bought me some cookies and a honey bun, and I used that as money. Right. And I gotta level it up. I can level it up. Listen to Dave Ramsey. Dave Ramsey said, "Hey, most of Americans don't have $1,000 saved." It's true. Yeah, it's so true. It's hard. Like, I mean, I'm working on the financial side too, and like we see it every day. Is like a lot of times people are underprepared. There's a lack of planning that's happening all around. Right here, you guys can't see this, but I just recently purchased what is called a big ass calendar is what it is. I forgot the name of the guy, but it's a big calendar that has all the months and all the weeks and all the days of the year. And so a big thing, right, and like winning in entrepreneurship is planning. Like making sure that you have the necessary resources and the people to talk to, right? You're talking about mentors and having the right people around you and doing a lot of planning, because people don't plan to fail, they fail to plan, right? So, I mean, how do you go about, now that a lot of people are in the new year, they're always talking about New Year's resolutions, always talking about new goals. What are some of your goals? I'm curious. I mean, what got some fun stuff planned? Like, what does that look like next year, 5 years? What are you trying to accomplish, man? What's the plan? So a lot of my goals do with numbers, because a lot of times I think numbers are vital. I think numbers are exact. Men lie, women lie, numbers don't, right? So a lot of times when we putting something on it, I want to put a number on it. So I want to take my company, my cleaning company, to a certain level next year. And so that way my son can manage it, because he's 22 now and I want him to manage it. He's already 6 figures right now, so I want him to manage that. And so I can focus on something else. I'm doing more coaching
Nice.
and mentorship and now and marketing, helping people grow business. I have like about 8 clients right now that I'm helping grow their company actively
Nice.
as far as with the marketing aspect. And buy another duplex. I'm positioned into buy another duplex. And those that know a little bit about real estate, if you buy the first one correct, it will put you in position for the next one because they look at it as income.
Okay.
So with the first duplex that I have, I am profiting $1,200 a month, and I have a profit. I put inside the deal also a property manager because see, you got me talking real estate. I've been staying away from it. But, so I put it inside the deal a property manager. And the reason why I done that is because when I got into my cleaning business had me so bogged into it. It had me so down. I was the shirt, the shoes, the hat, the pants, and everything.
Everything, yeah.
I couldn't get away from it. Matter of fact, when I used to step away, clients used to get mad because I put somebody else that wasn't me and wasn't taking the concern about it. By the time I got the marketing, then I got to the cleaning, the real estate, I was like, you know what? First thing first, when you're building a business independent of you, find your manager. Get you a manager.
Yeah.
My real estate is so hands off. Like when something happens, she call and let me know. I say, hey, get it fixed. She tell me what it is. I may have a connection because I'm in a couple of groups. Say, hey, call this person. I want to refer some business to him. And so she talked to him, get it to him, send me the bill, and it's done. Right? And I can focus more on this.
Yeah.
I can focus more. Man, when I first started real estate, it's in Aston City, 45 minutes away. And I'm running a cleaning business, right?
Yeah.
And when I didn't know about a lockbox. I didn't think about the lockbox, right? So when I rented the house and somebody wanted to see it, I had to always have time to drive 45
Go back
minutes.
there and oh my gosh. Yeah, that's a nightmare.
Man.
Talk about it. That's crazy. Yeah, but see, those are the little things like you learn as you go, and obviously you have some incredible mentors. I mean, who are some of the people you think you go to, like some good mentors in your life?
So a lot of people that I got, I look at a guy for my cleaning, AJ Simmons online. I'm a lot of big YouTube. AJ Simmons. Recently I got, Jim Morris. He's a good person to talk to. Then I have follow right now Coach Burt. Coach Burt, somebody I'm tapped into. I look into a lot.
Good stuff.
Coming back, Kiyosaki was real big. I read his book.
Get Kiyosaki in the podcast.
Kiyosaki was there because I read Rich Dad Poor Dad Advisory. I read a book called Tax Free Wealth. Tony Robbins. And so you got it over there. That money book. That book right there. If you read that book, book right there made me realize that people don't even know what they really need to live. When he broke down what $1 million was and how long it would take you in seconds, I can't remember. I looked to find that again because I really want to expound on that with people. That's something that people need to realize. When I read that part, I was like, dude, you don't even know what you really need to live for the year. What you really saying, I want a million, you really don't need that much. And once you realize that, the million is that much closer to getting. That's what I think. So I'm glad I seen that because I need to go back into that. I got the book at home.
One of the things that he talks about, I love to walk through this exercise with everybody, but if you ever, somebody listening to this, if you ever think about whatever lifestyle that you want to have, think about what would it cost to do everything you ever dream of, right? Like everything you ever want, the car of your dreams, the house of your dreams, everything. And just write down, like trips, everything. What would that look like? It doesn't take as much as you think it would take, to be like completely debt free, going out and all these lavish things and do all these cool stuff. It doesn't take as much, and
he even broke down when he was talking about riding a private jet. Say, for instance, you want to go do a jet, and he broke that down, what it would cost to rent a jet. And you probably want to do that twice a year because then he broke it down. I'm like, oh my God. I got to go back and find that because I've been thinking about that as I've been talking. I think that's now time to rehash that. And another thing is what's real big, when I was in my murky situation in a dark place, what people would call it dark, it was really a shining part of my life. But you had to have somebody that you can bounce ideas off of. I got a guy named Steve Nelson that's my guy. He would read books and I'll read books and we would bounce ideas. He's so argumentative. No matter what I say, he's gonna argue that back. So sometimes I'm telling you, those people that you say are challenging in your life, you need them. You need them. Now you might not want to go to the board and sit at the table with them because you want the synergy. You want people that thinks alike. You don't want that person that's gonna always counteract or what you're saying.
Sure.
You know somebody that's gonna always find.
Yeah.
You can say it's blue in the sky. They like, you know what? Nah,
it's red actually.
Yeah. You know, you seen it in the morning.
Yeah.
You know? No, seriously. But you need those people in your life. They're difficult for a reason. Those are people that give you objections. You know, many times I try to help other people that don't have their financial game plan together, and I say, hey, open up 4 bank accounts, right? The first thing they say is, I don't have enough money to put in 2 bank accounts. First of all, you have both your 2 bank accounts at the same bank. So basically, it's just really 1 bank account. So let's transfer it to another bank account, right?
Right.
And say, hey, I don't have enough money to do that. And so as you start to hear people, those objections, what they really doing are sharpening your skills to get to the people that really hear it.
Yeah.
Right. So we look at it different. I look at it totally different. There's somebody around me that goes against me, I'm learning. Like in a sales thing I was watching, sales training, he said you want to practice people saying no, right? You want to practice, go 3 or 4 no's. You know, if you're sparring with somebody, you're going through and say, hey, do you want this? No, I don't want it. Hey, now you're trying to sell them, right? So that happens in real life with the people around you. As you're trying to tell them your ideal or you're telling them things, those people are not supposed to support you. Those are the people, if the people around you support you at this level, how do you get out here to these people? Right. So those people right there are like the friction that you need to lift weights. Those are the people that you push through. So when you bust through and you get that, you know what I mean? You're out here. And now, don't one thing we fall off, and I want to encourage people, don't be mad at those people. Yeah. Don't be mad at those people that's right there. Those are the people, they're still supporting you. They're behind you. But you needed that people, you need that resistance.
Yeah, man, you need a little bit of haters too. I mean, there's a lot of times, especially for people that are trying to break into the entrepreneurship world, there's a lot of resistance from people that have not done it. Like I know a lot of people that have close relationships with that are some sort of entrepreneur in some way, that their close family members are super against it. And it's one of those things is like, well, how many duplexes have you bought? How much real estate investment have you done? You know,
how much you really do?
You're hating on something you don't understand, right? Like, is the lack of knowledge. But sometimes, like, I think like a big skill set to have is to like sort of block out the noise. And being able to sort of laser focus on what you really want to accomplish. Because sometimes those people have not accomplished the goals that you're wanting to do. So who cares? You know, who cares of the opinion of somebody that have not done what you want to do? So I love what you said. You know, you mentioned some really cool people there. Finding those individuals and following the advice of people that have done it before you, right? Like that's huge. Yeah.
I wanted to also say, man, you were saying something about the people around you. A lot of people around you care too much for you to fail, right?
Yeah,
think
true.
about
That's
how
true. Protect you.
You have a father, right? You're a father, right? And my kid he's on the, he just think he's a baby, right? And he's on the couch, right? And instead of them falling and understand they don't need to get to the edge of the couch, that would be a bad parent, wouldn't it? So what you want to do, oh no, baby, don't fall. So you it's only that time that you fell, and then you know that time, and then they realize, you know what? They start to get their strength up in their back, and they start to realize, you know what? I'm not doing that anymore. Right. So I say that only because
it's good to fail.
Yes, it is. And so I say that because we as parents protect our children, right? And that's how our people around us protect us. And I wanted to say that because I had an aunt used to tell me, man, when I was working so much, she'd say, you're going to burn out, right? Now, that's something I understand where she was coming from.
Absolutely.
Because people that have a job or people that does other things, they can burn out. It can get kind of hard on you, right? You kind of burn out. But if you have a passion, passion don't burn out. Passion is what ignites.
Right.
Passion is what it gets you invigorated. Yeah. Passion is what takes you to that next level. So once you find your passion and then you implement it into what you're doing, no matter if you're doing the same thing over and over, you won't burn out. You would just have to figure out how to get what you don't like about that done by somebody else, then do the other thing that you really like about that same thing, because you're stuck inside your passion. Yeah. My mission is to empower the minds of our future generation. Nice. And I started and I chose to do it through financial education. Right? So when I'm talking to you today, I'm on my mission.
That's right.
So you said my son was in his in at the hospital. And you said, "What
Yeah.
are you doing here?" I'm on my mission.
We're wrapping it up. You gotta head out. No, but that's so huge. That's honestly so impactful. If you're taking notes, rewatch that last little bit, because absolutely, I mean, I cannot agree more. You have to be on a mission, and sometimes it's hard too, like to find like what that looks like, and a lot of times people have to figure out through trial and error, right? Like there's no secret formula of like what it is that you're trying to do and what do you like to do. I always love to quote this, but there's a Japanese saying. It's called ikigai, and ikigai is I'm gonna try to say this right, but is something that you're good at. It's where all these things interconnect, but it's something that you're good at, something that serves a purpose to the world, something that can get you paid, and something that you like doing. Mm-hmm. So it's like your passion, where all these circles sort of interconnect of like, what are you good at? What can make you money? You know, what serves a purpose? All these different things that interconnect, and that's your purpose, right? And it's different for everybody, but balancing all of that sometimes takes years to figure out. You know, I feel like we live in a time where like people just want things so quickly, right? Like it's yeah.
I'm gonna give you a tip on that. So that thing, as I was studying, it's a lot of different things they got like to get you find your passion, right?
Sure.
I was in a book, and this is something. Your conscious brain is the brain that you think from, right? And your subconscious is where your all ideas are planted.
That's right.
So what a lot of times is, I say it's mentality, not money, for a reason. That's one of my slogans I say, along with wishing they ain't doing enough. But it's mentality, not money, for a reason. Because when we realize that the money is not holding us back, we can find our passion.
Right.
So an idea to find your passion, what I found my passion in, and how I'm so vigorous, how I am so passionate about it, is I took a pencil, right? Remember in school where they said do free writing?
Right.
So 5 minutes of free writing, and this is what you do. You write, if I had all the money in the world, I would. And just continue to write. Now, in your brain, do it with a pen, like a pencil, you can write it. You're not stopping writing. You want to bypass it. And anytime you get stuck, you go back and say, if I had all the money in the world. And if I had all the money in the world, I would do da 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 da. And if I had all the money in the world, so when you get, anytime you get stuck, again, if I had all the money in the world, and what that does is that will bypass your conscious brain, because your conscious brain is what's actually telling you, you can't do that.
Right.
You if you don't have enough money.
Right.
But if I had all the money in the world, I would help other people. I like to teach. If I had all the money in the world, I would travel around the world and I would do this. Oh, I like to travel. If I had all the money in the world, I would do that. So I'm doing things like that. So as you start to do that exercise for the 5 minutes, you will start to see that you talked about your kids a lot. So you like children. You'll start to see that you like to teach them about finances, or you want to show somebody else how to get all the money in the world. So you start to see patterns inside what you wrote. And then your passion lies inside the patterns that you have written on the paper.
Yeah.
So that's a PPP.
Dude, that's amazing. That's incredible. Yeah, I feel if I can learn how to get paid for traveling and drinking bourbon and, you know, just sipping pina coladas at the beach, just chilling. That's the dream, yeah. Just traveling, doing some fun stuff. But dude, I love it. I mean, it's all.
On it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what we're doing. Hey, we're drinking bourbon right now. We're chilling. Hey.
Drinking bourbon on the beach.
That's right. There's a beach right here. But no, that's so fun, man. I love that, and I love your passion and your energy. I feel like it's something that is missing in a lot of people. You know, there's a little spark. You can totally have like a huge spark in you to like teach others and be a mentor, and like, you know, I'm curious, you know, you've overcome a number of things, and through your struggles, like if you had to give like number one, or you know, it could do a couple things, but a couple things of like what would serve you well to overcome struggles from deep down in the dirt. I mean, how do you see that light at the end of the tunnel? How do you come back?
I think everybody has been down in the dirt, no matter where it is. Everybody has, and what you're gonna go find out is that light shines. When you're in your darkest moment, that's when that glimmer of light shines. And all you do is look at that little glimmer of light. What did you do today to make somebody? Oh, I opened the door. Okay, well, I like opening the door for people. You might want to be a chauffeur.
Yeah.
No, seriously. You might feel
Yeah.
a love to opening the door for people. You just like to open. And then chauffeuring, how you want to have your own limousine service. Now, you
Right.
really you just use the chauffeur, but you use that little glimmer of light that you like, oh man, look, she smiled. I helped her take her groceries to the car.
Yeah.
You might need to be a carrier. That might be your job. You might be doing
That's
Uber
right.
Eats or something because you like that. You had that little glimmer
Yeah.
of light, and then as you're doing Uber Eats, you realize you want to be the next Uber Eats. You know,
Yeah.
it's just that little glimmer of light in that dark that you really look at too. And
Yeah.
if we start to focus on that little, don't focus on the dark side because the dark is only there to show you the light. It's only there for the light.
Yeah.
Right? Because you have light in you. Everybody has light in them.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So when you was in your darkest mode, could you bake a cake for somebody that loves, like the neighbor across the street? Hey, I took a cake. Man, you might like cooking.
That's right.
Then you find out in the book by Michael Gerber. It's a book on business. He's talking about
Yeah.
the things of business, but he said that when you want to, somebody think they want to bake a cake, but it's the essence of it's what they had that they, I'm paraphrasing, that they did with their grandmother.
Right. It's the feelings.
Yeah,
or the memory.
yeah. It's the feeling that
Yeah.
they have. Because she ended up started baking. I think it was apple pies. So
Sure.
she started baking apple pies because she thought she loved to bake apple pies, and she
Yeah.
realized that apple pies is a business. Now she got into making apple pies,
Yeah.
and she couldn't stop, like because she
Right.
had to pay her bills. So now she's like, I don't like making apple.